Hi everyone, this is Man from Sman Code and welcome to my channel. This is the third video of reading configurations from config file in .NET. As I told you guys in my last video that we are going to use those configuration as strongly type objects within our code, and IOption is the way to implement that. So let's see how we can implement IOptions within C# and in C# particularly in a console application. So as where we are in our last video, that was around second video where we did the dependency injection thing and we tried to read those configurations from within a test class. And in the third video, we are going to change this code a bit. First of all, we will be segregating I service collection object from the provider one. For that one, I will put a semicolon here and I can name it services collection. And to get that provider, we will be again using service provider, and that will be equals to services not service services collection dot provider. All right, at this step we are building or creating the provider, and this is the service collection object. Okay, so from that point onwards we need to add IOptions option here, and that would be against over a class. So for that one, let's go back and see the structure of that object. So if we see this configuration in terms of class, so that is a test class which has only one property, key. So let's create that class here. So I will be adding here options, and inside options we'll create a class. I can name it test option, and that would be a public class, and I will be declaring a public property, public string, and the name of the configuration. Name of the property should be the same as per the configuration, so that would be key. Okay, key, and that would be get set. Okay, that is a test option here now, and let's go back to the program.cs file, and here we need to add the options to that service collection object. For that one, that would be services collection dot configure, and we want to configure this class here, and for that one we will need a package. So for the package one, let's go to here. We only have 3 packages, that's fine. We will be pulling that package from here, options dot somewhere around options dot configuration extensions. Like, yeah, this one. Let me install that one and jump back to our code, which is here. Now the configure method is available, and we will be now configuring our class here. So for that one, I will name our newly added class, which is test option. And to which configuration do we want to, map this class? We will be mapping that one against config dot get section. And previously we have used test section, so we will be using that. Why we haven't added the colon here? Because we are not reading the key. We are getting the whole object, and we are mapping that whole object to that class as IOption. I can add a comment here as well. Let's say it's a third video, and what I'm doing is mapping test config from config file to the test option class, which is to be available in TI as IOptions. All right, so that was the first step. We did that, and this second step would be actually start using this configuration. For that one, basically we have added our test class, so let's add test class 2 today, just to make sure that we have all the various implementations available. Test class 2, again for simplicity, let's make it public, and constructor test class 2. And here what we can do is we can create an object of test option class, test option, because we want to read that configuration, and I can name it, let's say, option, right? And to read that, I need to inject IOptions of type test option, and I can name it options. And okay, test options dot value. So we have initiated that strongly type object in that case, so that we know that what values are we are reading from the configuration, and there is no scenario of randomly adding strings like that is a parent class colon, that is a child class, and that is a subchild class, right? So everything will be configured at once and all the time. During that project lifecycle, we can use that strongly typed configurable object to read configuration from that config file. Okay, and let's again expose a method to read that key value. For that one, I will be adding public void read, let's say read, and console dot write line, and that would be test options not to string, that would be dot key. Let's print out that key on the console. Okay, so that was the second step. For the third step, let's go back to the program.cs file and first inject that second class, add singleton test class 2. Great. And now we need to pull that object from our service provider. For that one, I will be creating test class 2 object here and service provider dot get service, and that would be test class 2. Okay, and finally let's call its method to test that actually we are able to read those configuration through that options pattern. So for that one, I will say not this one, not that way. We just want to read the test class to obj dot read. Okay. Just to differentiate, let's add some string. Let's append some string just to differentiate that we are reading from that IOptions pattern. So for that one, through IOptions pattern, I am now getting this key. All right, let's press Ctrl F5 to see the actual output. Okay, so the last one we can see that through IOptions pattern, I'm not now. It should be now getting its value, right? So that is now getting that value. Yeah, we can see that we are now getting that value from that IOptions pattern. So this is how the third and more improved way to read configurations from config file, and I will be adding more tutorials in that series to read different types of IOptions interfaces. And I'm breaking this news that there are a couple of different options as well, so we'll be creating those videos in the future, and I will creating the separate video series and the playlist on my YouTube channel, so that everything regarding the configuration can be found here regarding .NET applications. So we are currently covering the console part. We will see the WinForms, WPF, and the web as well. So stay tuned, and in case of any question or query, do ask me in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do subscribe, and see you in the next one.